everybody, it's that moment you've all been waiting for. We're about to do a live stage demo for Rage. We've got Tim Willett here from id, who's here to tell us all about it. Tim, thanks so much for coming by.
You're welcome. It's great to be here.
All right, so we've been getting audience questions all day long for all the various games that we've been showing here. And there's been one very frequent question that we've been getting, which is, when are you guys going to get to the Rage demo? People are clearly excited to see this game.
Well, we're really excited to have it here. At the show, it's hands-on. It's the first time that people have had a chance to really play it. We brought a lot of stuff. It's some really cool stuff. We're excited to be here.
All right, excellent. So tell us about this demo that we're about to see here.
Okay, so this demo, now for a long time, people have said, Rage, it's this wasteland post-apocalyptic game. I'm fighting mutants. What makes it different? So what I want to profile here today is the Authority. So now everyone knows we have mutants, bandits, but we also have this force called the Authority, and they're very militaristic. They have this very combat style. They work in squads, and it really shows that this game is different than most kind of wasteland first-person shooters. One of the key things to pay attention to in this presentation is the use of weapons, different ammo types, and different engineering items.
Okay. Now, which version of the game is it that we're seeing right here?
So we're looking at the 360 version.
Okay.
We have the PS3 version as well here on the show floor. They both look exactly the same, so you get the same experience on either console. So the story behind this particular mission is you are busting into this old prison that the Authority has taken over, and you're trying to rescue Captain Marshall. He's the leader of the resistance. So as you can see, the Enforcers, they don't look like mutants. They have armor, they have advanced weaponry. We have to use everything from EMP grenades to sentry bots to try to get through this area.
All right. We've got a lot of these audience questions here, so if you would mind,
Yeah. I can answer any question you have there.
All right, excellent. Joel Ross from England is wondering about the overall structure of the game. Would you consider Rage a free roaming game?
That's a great question, and we get that all the time. So Rage is, we got to call it open but directed. So, I hate to play games where I'm lost.
Right.
So we have a story in Rage. It's a deep story. We have many characters. You always know what you're supposed to do. But if you wish to go off the beaten path, you want to explore, you maybe do some races, do some side missions, there's plenty of opportunities for you, and the game will reward you for that. Yes.
Excellent.
So one of the things that we're doing here right now is we're using little EMP grenades to knock out the Authority power generators, and that'll give us access deeper into this area.
We've got someone who's named himself Stuff Searcher who's wondering, the build that we're seeing here, is this more or less the final version of the game?
So we have, as everyone knows, the game will be out this fall. So all the content is built.
Yeah.
So we're in the polish stage, the optimization stage. This is the fun stage.
Right.
Because the game's done. You're not stressing about what you're going to add in there. Now you're fine tuning it. You're balancing it. Things like the rocket launchers are too powerful, or the mutants too fast. That's really where we are now. It's very exciting.
All right. Austin from Idaho is wondering about the different environments in the game. We've obviously got this building interior in here. How would you describe some of the other environments that you go through?
So one of the great things about Rage is that it's powered off our brand new technology, idTech 5. And what idTech 5 allows us to do is uniquely texture and paint everything differently. So you have your classic, first-person areas like what we're showing here today. But if you're lucky enough to be here at E3, you'd see the wasteland, you'd see driving around, you'd see like Mutant Bash TV, Dead City. So not only are the characters and the enemy there's a lot of variety there, the environments are also very lush.
Rage is actually one of the first games that you see at E3 this year as you approach the West Hall. You guys have those mutants, sort of those mutant dummies sort of like strung up along the entrance, which is a very nice touch.
Yeah, we were trying to think of something to really, get people's attention. And there's so many signs and banners here at E3 that having those mutants is great. And then over by our booth we have the big giant Enforcers. You know, we've come out strong at this E3 with Rage. We're excited about the game. We think the game is going to be great, you know, and I can't wait to get, you know, in the hands of our fans.
Tim, there's sort of a common question that we're getting, which is people wondering, how long is this game? I mean, obviously that's something that can vary wildly from player to player,
Yes.
but you know, how long would you say this is on average, and what sort of incentive for replay options do you have in the game?
You know, that's a great question because, you know, today, you know, is the day of short games. You know, you pay $60, you get a 4-hour game. And it's like, really? 4 hours? You know, I don't want to play a game that short. You know, Rage is big. I mean, heck, the demo we have here, if you were to get through it, it'd take you over an hour.
Okay.
So because there's a lot to do in Rage, it's hard to pin down exactly how many hours of gameplay it is, but it's definitely up there. You know, it's past 15, you know, at least. It's exciting because with the replayability, there's, you know, the racing, there's the multiplayer. You can play through it again and pick different options on how you outfit your character. You know, there is a lot of replayability.
All right, let's see here.
You know, one of the really great things about what you're seeing on the screen now is the Authority has placed recharge stations around the level here, and as you saw, one of the guys dropped down to the recharge station and tried to get his armor recharged. But we've dropped a turret which is covering one side. We shot the guy with a mind control dart. That's my favorite ammo type. You basically take over guys and then you control them and you blow them up. How awesome is that? So see, he's walking towards the little generator there. He'll blow that guy up. Now that generator, you know, is weakened. We can come and we can throw an EMP grenade and knock it out. I mean, there's a lot of complex things to do in Rage.
Tim, I have to say I'm very impressed by how good this game is looking on the Xbox 360. You know, I've heard people talk about how visually impressive this game is when they've seen it running on a top-of-the-line PC, but it's very encouraging to see that, you know, for the guys like me who are mainly console gamers, I'll admit, are still getting a pretty nice-looking game on the console.
Yeah, I mean, we've really been happy with the PS3 and the 360. They're powerful machines. This technology was built from the ground up to leverage that power, and we are really happy at the graphical fidelity that we've created in Rage.
All right, let's see. Ryan from Louisiana is wondering how the level up system will work, sort of you know, player customization.
So now we don't have a classic, I'm level 5, level 6. How you progress in the game is all the cool stuff you can carry. Another thing that drives me nuts is I'm playing a game days and you got like 2 weapons. If you pick one up, you got to put one down. No. In Rage, everything you pick up, you can carry. You know, there's no encumbrance. If you want to build, you know, 50 RC bomb cars, you can do that. You know, it's all about player choice and having fun, and that's what we're trying to do here.
All right. Carl from Ireland is wondering, will playing Rage give me rage? Is the title true to form?
You know what? Sometimes when you're, you know, knee deep in it, and the enforcers are coming after you, you got mutants on your tail.
Yeah.
It may bring a little bit of rage.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been known to happen once in a while. Let's see. This might be the biggest flood of audience questions that we've had all day long. We had somebody wondering earlier about the possibility about Rage on the Wii U. Is that a system that you guys are looking at?
You know, it was just announced, you know, this week. We don't know really a lot about it. You know, the game's going to be out this fall. We're focusing on, you know, of course, the PC, PS3, and 360. We'll just have to wait and see. You know, when we get our hands on that system, it may be something we want to use. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Amir from Cairo is wondering about vehicle variety. How many different vehicle types are there?
Yeah, that's another great question. So, a major component of Rage, you know, is the vehicles. But we start you out gradually. First, start with an ATV, little 4-wheeler. Then you work up to a buggy, and then you got like a heavy armored Caprino, and then you go all the way up to even a Monarch. And as you race and you win races in Rage, you can take your race winnings and you can apply it to your vehicle. And then once you go out in the wasteland, let's say you have a mission to go to the Northern Guard Tower, if you armored up your vehicle, it'll make the trip much easier. So here we found Captain Marshall, and together you will work with him to find your way out of the prison. This demo level here only has a few more minutes left to it, but it really is kind of an exciting example of we tried to use a turret there, but we've dropped it on its side. But Captain Marshall is trying to unlock the security codes. We sent in a turret. We dropped an RC bomb car. We're going to use that to get around to the side of these enforcers. It's really cool, the choices that you have in Rage.
So I apologize if you mentioned this earlier, but roughly how deep into the game is this demo right here?
This part, you're probably about 6 to 8 hours in.
Okay.
You have a whole arsenal of weapons, and now you're rescuing Captain Marshall. You're going to engage with the resistance, and you're going to go headstrong at the authority.
How does the game start out? Like how do you?
That's awesome. He shot the guy. He fell
off.
down. He crawled up, and he shot him again. Some of the robustness in the AI is just amazing because you have so many weapons and engineering items. We had to design an AI that knew about everything that you have.
Right.
And sometimes you can just get some really awesome gameplay experiences.
So, I'm curious, how does this game start out? Like, how do you ease players into this robust, weapon customization system? Because it seems like there's a lot of tools at the player's disposal. How do you make sure that they're...
Well, let me get to that in just a second. This demo here is about to wrap up. One of the things that was very important to us in Rage is to start the player out, on a nice, kind of an easy playing field. So when you start the game out, yes, you have like the pistol, you got one ammo type, you have just the ATV, and because the game is quite long, we'll give you plenty of time to play with the new thing that you have. And our goal in Rage is to, every new level, every new area that you get to, we give you something new to play with. It can be a new weapon, it can be a new ammo type, it can be a new engineering item. It's always something different. So we, because we have a little extra time, I thought it'd be neat to kind of show
nice.
some of our racing component. This is a rocket race on the Dusty 8. This is actually completely optional in the game.
Oh, really?
So this is the exciting thing about Rage. This is the same game. We just watched a first-person, in-your-face run-and-gun game. Now we're in the wasteland. We're racing around. We're not doing that good. We're in fourth place here.
It's live.
But we're picking up boosts. We're picking up rockets. So it's just the diversity and how fast and smooth it is. Really makes Rage stand apart.
All right. Let's see. We're getting a lot of questions in here. One of the questions that we had a moment ago, I forgot the name of the person who sent it in. I already lost the email because we have so many. He's wondering about the possibility of a public demo. Is that something that you guys are thinking about doing?
We've talked about it. It's still kind of up in the air. Rage is such a big game, and there's so much to it that it's hard to make one sliver and say this represents Rage. Look at what we're looking at now. This really cool race, which we're still losing. It's if we just released this, you'd say, what's this, a combat racing game? If we released what we just saw, you'd say, what's this, like a corridor shooter? So really, there's so much to the game that it would be very, very difficult to actually do a public demo.
All right. Getting some very silly questions here. Robert from Holland is wondering, is there any sort of limitation to the amount of items and weapons that you can carry?
No. I like encumbrance. It's great for some games.
Yeah.
Not for my game. Again, anything you pick up, you should carry. Now we have lots of things that, and I think that concludes our gameplay footage. In Rage, there are a lot of things you can find. There's items. They have different values, and you can take those things. And when you find them, you go back to town, you sell them, you make some money, and you can buy something else.
All right. Let's hear. Rasmus from Denmark is wondering. Actually, a question that you answered earlier. He's wondering, do you have to race in Rage?
That's a great question. Some of the hardcore first-person fans. You know, at first they're like, oh, I don't really like driving around. You know, so no, there are a few races that you need to do, and all the other races are completely optional, and that's really exciting. You know, because if you're the run and gun type guy, you know, don't worry about it. We're not going to shove racing down your throat. But you know, if you like that, you know, if you like some variety and you like to try some different things, there's a lot of opportunities there, and that really what makes the game so rich.
All right. Mike from Buffalo is wondering, is there going to be any sort of hardcore mode for the really super talented players out there?
Yes, you know, it's id Software. You know, we have to make a you know, a nightmare type mode.
Right.
Yeah, it'll kick your butt if you're not good.
All right, Mike from Buffalo, you asked for it, and now you have to play on that mode. There's no backing out of it now. Let's see. Continue to get a lot of different questions here about stuff that we already answered. So make sure if you guys are watching this now, you just tuned in. We'll have an archived version up there later so that you guys can check out some of the questions that we already answered earlier. Ruggy from Leeds, England is wondering about, since it's such a big game, on the console versions, is it going to be multi-disc?
Yes. So on the 360, the single-player campaign will come on two DVDs, and then the multiplayer component will actually come on a separate DVD. And then of course on the PS3, it's just, you know, one Blu-ray.
All right. There you go, Ruggy. That answers that question for you. Scott from South Wales is wondering about multiplayer options.
So, Rage at its heart, you know, it's a single-player game. It's a big single-player game, but we had opportunities to do something in multiplayer that we thought, you know, wouldn't it be fun if?
Right.
So, you just saw the vehicle racing, the vehicle shooting. We thought, wouldn't that be fun if you could do that with your buddy? So we have a number of game modes centered around this thing we call like Road Rage. And what that is, it's a combination of, you know, racing to rally points and engaging, you know, your friends with you know, cool weapons that you have on your vehicles, and that's got unlocks and progressions. And then we also have a co-op component to the online offering, and that's we call it Legends of the Wasteland. And that's an extension of the fiction of the single player experience. I guess since we had some extra time, you know, and we had so much content, we decided to load up my favorite area in Rage called Mutant Bash TV.
Yeah.
So Mutant Bash TV is this kind of over-the-top, post-apocalyptic game show experience where you're sent to earn a sponsorship, and the only guy that's going to give you a sponsorship is the guy that runs Mutant Bash TV. So it's kind of like a Running Man meets you know, Ultimate Warrior, where, you know, you earn money and points based on how well you do in the Mutant Bash arena. And this is really you know, a great example. Oh, I love the wing stick.
Wow.
Yes.
You didn't need that head anyways.
Yes, yes, silly mutant. You know, and this really shows the variety. We started out with the Authority. They're very hardcore, very organized. We went to the vehicle combat and the racing. Now we're in Mutant Bash TV, and we got these over-the-top mutants.
All right, well, Rage looks like a huge game, and it looks like there's a lot of different gameplay variety in there, so we don't want to spoil it for everybody. We want to leave some surprises for players, so we'll go ahead and end it here. But Tim, thanks a lot for coming by. We
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. Can you go ahead and remind everybody out there when you expect Rage to be available in stores?
Yes, Rage will be available on all three platforms, on the PC, the 360, you know, and the 3 this fall.
All right, thanks. All right, now go check out what else has got to here on